Here's a short explanation for taxpayers on the basics of how the town prepares the annual budget and how town spending impacts the property taxes you pay. In January, all town departments submit their operating budgets for the new fiscal year beginning July 1st to the Appropriations Committee. The Appropriations Committee is composed of 7 members, appointed by the town moderator, and responsible for ensuring that the town adheres to sound fiscal management policies. East Long Meadow's bylaws give the Appropriations Committee oversight authority of the budget development process, and its primary function is to prepare a budget that it feels best meets the needs of the town as a whole. It has no voting authority, but advises town meeting on all financial issues to be considered by the voters. The Appropriations Committee provides the elected boards and the departments under them with a set of budget guidelines that try to balance the increasing costs of services with the need to restrain spending. What makes up the annual operating budget? Salaries make up 57% of the current fiscal year's budget. Linked to salaries are benefits, insurance and retirement costs that make up an additional 14%. Debt and interest payments add another 9%, and the remaining 20% covers all the other costs associated with operating the town. The majority of salaries are tied to multi-year contracts with police, fire, DPW, town hall employee, and other labor unions. Those contracts are negotiated by the Selectmen, School Committee, and Board of Public Works. Non-union contracts are negotiated on an individual basis with the Board of Authority over each department. Benefit costs include the town's contribution for employee retirement and health insurance. Debt and interest payments reflect the cost in principal and interest each year for any bonds issued by the town. So that's 80% of the budget. What's left? All the things needed on a daily basis to provide services to residents, from textbooks to fuel, copy paper, legal fees, and software. By February, the Appropriations Committee, working with the assessors, tries to estimate tax revenues based on trends in the real estate market and the overall economy. The committee also tries to anticipate the impact of the state budget, which is a source of local aid revenue to the town. Property taxes make up 69% of the town's annual revenue, local aid 21%. Local receipts are fees collected for things like excise tax, permits, and licenses. Other revenue comes from interest earned on deposits, recycling, and other activities that generate revenue for the town. Property is taxed on its market value. At this stage of the budget process, the assessors estimate the total value of all taxable property in town and add the value of any new construction that has not yet been taxed. This total valuation is the key number for calculation of the tax rate and understanding the limitation imposed by Proposition 2.5. The limit is on the tax levy, which is the total amount raised by taxation, not your individual property tax bill. The tax levy is limited to last year's levy plus 2.5%, plus the value of new growth. So the Appropriations Committee estimates the available tax revenue to guide its budget making. As the state budget process unfolds, they try to anticipate any changes in the distribution of local aid. And they continue to meet with the boards and departments to refine budget proposals to find additional savings. By April, the committee is ready to present its proposed budget for review by the taxpayers at the annual budget hearing. This is the best opportunity for voters to ask questions to the committee and other town officials about the proposed budget. Also in April, the Board of Selectmen finalizes everything to come before the town on the annual town meeting warrant, and voters can cast ballots in the annual town elections for seat on the town's governing boards. On the third Monday in May, the town's voters assemble as a legislative body empowered to raise and spend the money that the town needs to operate. The budget is presented in detail, and the voters have the opportunity to question the town budget line by line. Note that by state law, school budgets are not subject to line-by-line appropriation. But neither the town nor the schools can spend public money that is not approved by the voters at town meeting. Once the budget is passed, the town must raise the necessary funds from all of its sources of revenue to fund the operations of the town beginning July 1st. Preliminary tax bills for the first quarter of the new fiscal year are issued because the new tax rate can't be set until the valuations determined by the assessors have been certified by the state. That usually happens in September. The assessors finalize the amount to be raised through taxation and calculate the tax rate by dividing the amount to be raised by the total valuation. That rate is applied to the assessed value of individual properties. Second quarter tax bills are adjusted to reflect any difference between the preliminary estimate and the actual amount owed. Proposition 2.5 does not limit increases from year to year in your property tax bill or in the tax rate. It only limits increases in the total tax levy from year to year. However, the tax rate cannot ever be higher than $25 per $1,000 of valuation. 4 things determine the amount your tax bill goes up: your property's value, the tax rate applied to that value, the increase in the demand and the cost of providing town service, and the amount of spending for those increases approved at town meeting. You, the taxpayer, have a voice in the process when you inform yourself and participate at the budget hearing, town meeting, and when you vote responsibly for the issues that affect you.